You tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need. We give you outspoken thoughts about all the headlines. We talk baseball, football, hockey, and more. No matter the topic, we cover it. Get ready for the show and keep it outspoken. Keep it outspoken. We keep it outspoken only on the Sportscast. Tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need.
Hey guys, welcome in. It's the Outspoken Sportscast here with your hosts Brian and Craig. It's episode 170. Hey Craig, how's it going, brother?
Hanging in there.
Hanging in there. I feel you on that one. It's been a heck of a couple weeks here, but we got your episode 170 talks on Tuesday, week 13 edition. We're going to jump into the week NFL or the week 12 recap of the NFL. My bad, I can't talk today. We got your Thursday night picks. We're going to move the picks to Friday now that Craig's back, except we'll give you our Thursday pick tonight, and then we got your headlines of the week right after this, guys. All right, guys, welcome in. Everyone's back to work this week, and that's just no fun. But hope you transition well into that, as I'm dog tired, can't wake up. Anyways, hope your turkey day was good. We're gonna do the week 12 recap here. Let me get that pulled up here. I won against Craig last week. I needed to win badly because Craig was on a roll. I was 4-1 on the different games we had, so kudos to me on that. But let's see. All right, week 12. We went over the Thursday night football games. Yeah. Did we already recap? We didn't recap week 12 already. We already recapped the Thursday games last week, right?
The Thanksgiving games. The three
Yeah,
Thanksgiving
that's
games.
what we did. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, we already did some of this. All right. Browns and Buccaneers. This is one that got you. I picked the Browns to win, and you picked the Bucs to win. And for the first time ever, Tom Brady loses. We want. Sorry, we got a weird ass comment. I think it's the first time Tom Brady lost, and going like in like 2 minutes of the fourth quarter up by a touchdown or some weird stat. They go to overtime with an amazing catch by Njoku. You see that one-handed catch he made to tie the game?
Yeah.
Beautiful catch. And they go to overtime and end up driving down the field, and Kareem Hunt pits it in for the touchdown. The Bucs, they were playing better, but they still, obviously something's missing there. The Browns, they are 4-7. They're pretty much out of it, but they're going to get their
Jacoby's last hurrah over there.
Yeah.
Because Deshaun's coming to take his job, so he has to beat Brady to go off on a high note, I guess.
Yeah, he gave a speech at the end, they said, and he knew what the job was signing up for this, so maybe he did enough to get him a start somewhere else next year, but Maybe he wants
Yeah.
to be the backup.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, kind of put themselves in a tough spot.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. All right, we got Bengals and Titans, and I picked the Titans to win this one. You picked the Bengals. I'm not a big believer in the Titans, but they have quietly got a 7-4 record. And we're just winning games. I thought they pulled away at home, but
Bengals have won 3 straight, but that probably ends this week. They got to play. Oh, I don't remember either. No, Miami plays San Francisco, I think. Anyhow, they got a tough matchup this week. Oh, Kansas City.
oh, they play Kansas City.
Yeah, they play Kansas City this week, so that's probably where that win streak ends.
Maybe they beat them in the playoffs last year.
No, they beat them twice last year. That doesn't.
Yeah.
Different team. Although Jamar Chase will be back.
Yeah. Dolphins dominate the Texans 30-15.
Yeah, it wasn't even as close as that
No.
looked. It
They
was
scored
30
all
to
30
nothing
points.
at halftime, and
Yeah.
and then they put the scrubs in. They put the hot dog guy in and let up 15 in the second half. So
Now, when I first saw the Jets Bears score 31-10, I was like, "Oh man, the Bears! What's going on?" But they had their backup in, and I think it's Trevor Simeon.
yeah,
Ex
Bronco that might be better than Russell Wilson, I guess. But I guess the Dallas Cowboys know how to scout quarterbacks because Mike White looks like the second coming of Joe Namath out there and
throwing the ball all over the field,
just slinging the rock around the yard, and makes the Bears defense that was pretty good look terrible. And there's what's his name standing on the sideline there? Old Zach just standing on the sidelines going, guess I shouldn't have said that.
or played better, or
yeah, I don't know.
Just but Mike White was 315 yards through 3 touchdowns. He only got sacked 1 time, so pretty good outing for him. And
pretty sure he'll be the guy going forward.
Going forward the rest of the year, or going forward?
Oh, at least this week. I mean, you're not gonna put Zach back in after 315 and 3 touchdowns. I mean, be committing.
They were talking about
suicide.
They were talking about some writer said it. Zach Wilson will never play a game again.
I wouldn't doubt that. I don't. They might move on and try to recover. I just don't think
it's way too early to move on.
I understand that, and he's been hurt and he hasn't had an opportunity, and it is the Jets. But I just think there's some kind of clash amongst the brass and the quarterback, and it just doesn't.
Well, the coach. The rumors are the coach really likes him.
Yeah, that does not show.
But he had to make he had to make a move because the team's not respecting this guy after the way he handles himself. The media.
The question. He said no.
He answered the question. There's so much disrespect to the defense.
He said no.
Like, oh my God, no! This guy needs to know how to handle himself better with the media.
He just got done playing a football game. Like,
that matters. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Look at Lamar Jackson's tweet.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
He got killed for it.
Well, don't put the microphone in my face when I just got done banging helmets at people. My brain just got scrambled in 60 car wrecks. Sorry, I didn't answer the question perfectly.
After the game,
sorry, I wasn't politically correct and offended my teammate. Play better. Like, I don't want to tell you.
He's got to play better, but he's also got to handle himself off the field. With the media, being a leader of the football team. That's part of the game, and I know a lot of people don't like it, but it just is.
The defense an apology. Oh, the guys on the other side, they played a good game. What can I do?
You scored 3 points. Your defense gave up 10.
Does the other 11 guys that played offense with me owe the offense an apology?
You should have. You should have said, "Yeah, we should have won this football game." That's it. That's all I had to say.
Okay.
We should have let this football game with the defense giving up 10.
Well, he didn't say no. The defense sucked. No, he just said no. That was it. No.
He doesn't handle himself.
I don't feel that I owe the defense apology. No, that's it.
He doesn't. The players don't play for him. They don't like him. Apparently, there's something missing there between him and the players. He apologized for it. Maybe they can move forward. And he has flashes of when he makes throws. It's like, okay, this guy's got the talent, but he's got to put it together, and he's young. There's no way they move on from Zach Wilson for good. There's no way. It's way too early.
If I'm Zach Wilson, I'm moving on. I got benched for answering a question in a press conference. Like, I didn't even get off the field.
It wasn't just that. It was you've been crappy. He's been horrible.
Oh yeah, Joe Flacco is just something to write home about. Like, come on now.
He's been bad.
Yeah, bad enough that they're 7-4. He's been terrible. Like, I don't know what to say. Like,
Let me look up his numbers this season because he's not played good. He wouldn't be benched just because of the question if he was actually playing good. He had 154 yards against the Bills with a 72 completion percentage.
The Bills.
He had 77 yards against the Patriots.
Another solid defensive team. I mean,
121 yards against the Broncos.
How many times are you throwing the ball, though?
110 versus the Packers. And they did beat us handily in that game.
I mean, I don't know.
He has 1,200 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. He's not exactly lighting it up.
I don't know. Mike White's not the answer. I can promise you that.
No, he's not. And
so you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out how Zach is the answer from the sideline.
No,
he's not the answer from over there.
I'm not. Are we? I think we're arguing about the same thing. I'm
just saying you got to play the kid to let him to figure out whether you need to move on.
I know.
Sit him on the bench, you don't know.
You're killing the guy's confidence. That's what you're doing.
That's exactly what you're doing by benching him. You just undid anything you had done up to that point.
I just don't think game. I'm saying I don't think they're moving on from him for good. Like completely washing their hands. I don't think they're at that point.
If I'm the quarterback, though, I want to move on. If the organization benches me over one post-game comment, like I can't have that.
It's not just that one comment, though. It's not just that one.
He's the number 2 pick in the draft. That should give you all the leeway in the world. And the kid has had none. They've talked about him the entire time he's been there. The New York media just trashes this kid. Like, his personal life comes into effect. Like, nobody else's mom's getting talked about on the sideline of an NFL football game. Like, I don't know.
No one else's mom is out here doing what.
I get it. I can't control what my mom does. Sorry.
All right, moving on. The Commanders take care of business and beat the Falcons 19-13. Falcons had a chance to win this game, but they ended up throwing an interception. They threw an interception.
Well, who missed a field goal at halftime, so that should have changed things.
Darnold leads the Panthers to beat the horrible Broncos. Terrible. The Broncos score the least amount of points in the league per game. They only average like 14 points a game.
I think the Rams might be the only team that's worse than the Broncos, and at least they have kind of an excuse.
The Panthers are going, we trade everyone away so we could tank, Broncos. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, we played Sam Darnold so we could lose, and he won.
Jacksonville.
Thanks for us.
Yeah, thanks for us. He's getting yelled at by his teammates on the sideline.
And the coach is just standing there like he didn't hear him.
Yeah, he's like, I thought that was addressed to everybody. I didn't know he was screaming.
Oh, sure. I bet you did.
That's what he said. He said,
that's why he's got his headset on.
Ravens at Jacksonville. Jacksonville come back. They score 18 points in the fourth quarter. The coach wanted to go. The coach said, "Hey, the 2-point conversion that was their deal," and they get the job done. And they surprise.
Another week I've got to hear Trevor Lawrence talk.
Yep. I mean, Baltimore scored 15 in the fourth quarter. But I'm glad that Jacksonville wins. I'm not a big Baltimore fan. Chargers get the job done. Another game where they do a 2-point conversion to win the game. They beat the Cardinals 25-24. Raiders. This is one that I figured Seattle would win, but Raiders win in overtime.
Josh Jacobs goes
40
on
to
an
34.
86-yard scamper to win the game.
Pretty much untouched almost. I mean, just down. Chiefs win big, 26-10 with a backup quarterback for the Rams. And the 49ers blank the Saints 13-0.
Saints are terrible.
Terrible. Steelers beat the Colts 24-17. The Colts are terrible. The Steelers aren't very good. Just two bad games.
Yeah.
And we got to watch the Colts this Sunday night against the Cowboys. That's terrible. The Colts are absolute trash. Absolute trash.
Yeah,
Garbage.
on a short week.
Garbage. All right, let's pick our week Thursday night game, December 1st. Bills versus Patriots. It's in Foxborough, Gillette Stadium. This one might be a little better than we're thinking. Josh Allen's been struggling as of late. Patriots defense.
I think the UCL's bothering him.
Yeah. The Patriots defense and Mac Jones looked really good last week. I think he's playing a lot better. This could be, maybe it's going to snow. This could be a game that maybe we don't want to write off as the Bills are automatically going to win. I do think the Bills do win, but I'm not saying it's going to be close. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout.
I don't think we could just say that the Bills are going to win, but I'm going to say the Bills are going to win.
I just don't want to write it off because we both look at it and go, "Oh, that's easily the Bills." But when you look at Patriots,
the Bills, it is what it is.
And it could be the snow game. It could be
Buffalo just played in 9 billion inches to get out.
No, they moved it to Chicago.
I know, but I mean
Detroit played in
like
the
they never play in the snow. I mean, it's fine.
They got a record. My wife said they got a record 82 inches or 82. What was it? Yeah, 82 inches of snow in Buffalo. I was like, yeah, gosh, fine. That's 6 feet. Yeah. 6 feet 9 inches of snow.
Yeah,
I would be drowning.
Running backs 5'8". Let's go for
it. I think this might be a little closer than we're thinking, but I do think the Bills win as well, and I think you picked them too as well, right?
Yeah.
We decided to move our picks to Friday because it just makes more sense to make picks closer to the weekend. We can find out injury reports during the week and make better decisions. But we will pick our Thursday night games on Tuesday. That way you know who our pick is. So we both got the Bills there. Easy pick for both of us. Could be a closer game than you think. I think it's a 3-point game. But maybe I'm wrong. All right, we got your headlines. I'm going to go ahead and play that intro for the headlines there, Craig. All right, guys, headlines of the week. This is going to be a pretty short episode. But let's stick with football here. We got Watson's return. The Browns are what? The Browns are 4-7.
Yeah, I just don't know.
Not really
what to expect. After basically 200, I mean, he's had 2 full seasons off. It's just.
There's been like 700 days since he's played a football game.
Yeah, it's. I never was a huge Deshaun Watson fan to start, let alone having 700 days off and not playing. He played a little bit in the preseason. He looked horrible. I mean, he's just basically an upgraded Deshaun, like the guy from the Ravens,
Baltimore,
LaShawn, Jackson. He's just Lamar Jackson. He's 2.0. They're the same quarterback. They both would rather run. He can throw it a little bit better than Lamar, but still, I'm not sold that he's going to be any kind of MVP or save the day. Like, what they paid him was ungodly to me. Like, for his talent level and what they paid him was just unheard of to me. And I think in a year or two they'll be moving on from that contract. I don't know. I just not another quarterback I'm not fond of.
Look, when Watson played football, he was arguably no doubtable top 5 quarterback in the league. He played on a horrible Houston Texas team. He had good numbers. There's no way to tell what he's going to be. He could come out here and get back to that form. But multiple players and coaches talk about it. You cannot missing so much action. You just can't just make that up. You don't make that up in practice, really. You don't make that up in reps. You make that up by playing the game of football. And you can't mimic that speed. You can't mimic a lot of the things that go on in a game. Actually getting hit for the first time after 700 days. So I hope, and I don't want him to succeed, right? We all know whatever you think about Deshaun Watson, I think he's a scumbag, but that's my own opinion. I hope he does bad. I don't want him to succeed. I hope this is something that the Browns learn their lesson from, but we see it a lot of time in sports, unfortunately. But who knows? Who knows what he'll be? And we'll find out Sunday night or Sunday. He plays against the Texans. That's a game they should win, regardless if how good he plays or not. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I think too much time. I mean, I think this season is just going to be to knock the rust off, and then next year you'll see what he really is. But it'll be interesting to see the reception he gets. It'll be interesting to see the fan reception, the league reception. Do the guys that he plays around in the locker room? Does the guys, do they want to go out there and play with him, or do they? Oh, I didn't get that. I couldn't reach that. Type deal. It'll be interesting to see how the locker room, receives him as well, because a lot of things have happened, and I still don't know if that's over, if that's done with. So I just, it'll be very interesting to see the reception he gets, and the TV, what TV has to say about him. He's going back to where it all began in Houston, how that fan base receives him. He played his whole career there, and I think the NFL did that on purpose. And it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to watch just for those different branches of the tree and see how they all play out.
I think he gets booed everywhere he goes except Cleveland. I mean, I don't think Cleveland's going to boo their own quarterback. So it'll be interesting. I'm just interested to see how he plays. And
100%.
And he's playing a bad football team.
Yeah, the worst. He's playing the worst football team in the deal. I mean, it would be interesting to see if he could give it a little run here, and I don't know their schedule off the top of my head the rest of the way, but to mount and see if he could get them to 10 or 11 wins and finish this thing out and make a run at a playoff spot. It would be interesting. We basically said we thought they needed to be kind of around 500. They were close. But we'll see what he can do. It'll be interesting to see, because originally you had said like, nah, he's not going to play. I think ownership changed his mind real quickly on that deal.
Yeah.
They're like, wait a minute, no, we're paying a lot. Have you seen this pay stub right here? This pay stub says millions, and that guy makes thousands, so we're going to play this guy with the bigger number. Like, that's how math works. And then he was like, oh, look, Deshaun's back. Yay. So
yeah, only time will tell what to see, and there's, is that locker room going to accept him now?
Yeah, that's my biggest thing. Not the fans, not the NFL, not the deal. Is when he walks into that locker room, are those other guys, the other 24 guys in that roster, are they going to support him and welcome him and play with him, or are they going to go, we don't want to be here? We don't.
Yeah.
Want to.
He took the guys out before the season.
Yeah, no, I get it.
They went on some trip, and he tried to.
I mean, just because you take me to Jamaica, I might have a good time then, but I might not have a good time. There's a lot of time that's passed, and a lot more things have come out since they went over there to the Bahamas. So, I don't know. To me, I just, I have my own opinion of him, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it goes.
All right. Well, we have a you were very happy this weekend, Craig, as your team took care of business in the college football
It didn't
they
look good from the
dominated.
start. Well, it didn't look like that though.
Yeah.
You come into the first half and they had 10 yards of rushing. They had a couple long passes because I believe Ohio State sold out and said this football team likes to run. My guy Blake Corum, he played 2 plays and said, "Nah, this knee brace ain't gonna work. I can't play." And at that point in time, you think you're in trouble. JJ McCarthy, who cannot throw a deep ball or couldn't throw one. They were so wide open that he was able to throw one. They got 5 plays of 50 yards or more in this football game. If they don't have a big play, then they don't win this football game going away. So I personally had never thought Ohio State was that good this year because, I mean, we played the same competition, we played the same teams, but they struggled against Penn State where we really dominated Penn State. They struggled against Michigan State where we dominated Michigan State. They had some games this year that they just didn't play well. And again, just like the quarterbacks that have come out previously, these guys that come from Ohio State, I'm not sold on. And again, just like when he threw the game away, he's going to run. They go to sack him. He gets in between holding it and throwing it and just flips it up, and Michigan intercepts it. That's a critical time in that football game where you just lay down and live to play another down, and you throw it up for grabs, and Michigan picks it up. And on the next play, Edwards runs 75 yards, and the game is over. And that 2-minute sequence right there changed the entire, because Ohio State had just thrown a pass that if the defensive back doesn't reach up and knock it out of his hands, that game is within 4 points. And it went from being within 4 points to being 20 in the just blink of an eye. And I think the Ohio State defense was out there too long. They were on the field too long. Those defensive backs, they said, "Okay, listen, you guys are on your own. We're gonna put 8 guys, 9 guys in the box, and you guys are on your own back there. You 2 defensive backs in safety, you're on an island by yourself." And our wide receivers were just
killing them.
I mean, turning them inside out. The guy was turning backwards and there he is over there. I mean, he's the first pass play they scored on a touchdown was nothing more than a 12-yard little button hook, and he turns around, he catches it, and he spins inside. The cornerback dives outside, and all of a sudden, CJ looks up and he goes, "I don't have nothing but green in front of me," and takes off. Mm-hmm. And on the next one, he runs a post pattern, and the cornerback just falls down over his own feet. He falls down, and he's running down the middle of the field. I mean, I could have hit him in stride. I mean, it was that's how wide open he was.
Yeah.
And so I'm very interested to see how they play against Purdue. There's reports out that people think TCU can beat Michigan. I don't think TCU's seen anything like Michigan. But in the end of the all, I don't think it matters. I think the Georgia Bulldogs are better than any of the other 4 put together.
Yeah.
I think the Georgia Bulldogs are light years ahead of Deal.
That's the biggest question I've had when you talk about TCU is, can we stand up against Michigan? Can we beat an Ohio State? Can we beat?
I think you can beat Ohio State. Georgia, I don't know. I think you could beat USC if you play USC if they get in.
They should. Yeah, they should not get in being in that weak ass.
With 2 losses, I totally agree.
There's no way.
A team with 2 losses, if any team with 2 losses should get in, it would be Bama because of the SEC and the level of competition they have. But you cannot leave out 1 loss, Ohio State, or 1 loss, anybody compared to Deal. Now, we'll see. We'll see what the rankings come out. I think they come out here in the next half hour. We'll see what they think about Ohio State. We'll see how far they dropped. Because USC is going to beat Utah. I think that's pretty much of a given. Yeah. LSU is going to be out because they're going to lose to Georgia in the SEC title game.
And they just lost. They're going to fall because they just lost Texas A&M.
Yes.
Unranked Texas A&M. Yes. They lost pretty bad. They lost by 15 points. That was
15 points, yes. 2 scores.
LSU, they came in, looked sluggish this game.
Yeah. But I think it's either going to be Ohio State or USC. I think Bama is just out because they don't play any more games. Like they don't have an SEC title game. They're done playing. So you can't move up in the ranking if you don't play.
Win.
You know, I mean, you just don't play. Like it's not win, it's not loss. Like they don't play. So I mean, if USC wins, the only way Bama gets in
as if USC tanks the last game.
is USC loses their title game, and then they look at Ohio State's strength of schedule and said they don't have any big wins. They got blown out at home. We're going to put Bama in over Ohio State. That's the only way Bama gets in.
There's no way they could put him over. Ohio State's loss was
Ohio State
was pretty bad, but
20 points at home, and the rest of your strength of schedule, like I said, you didn't play Penn State very well. You didn't play Michigan State very well. You didn't play another game very well. So, I mean, they have no top 10 wins.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if Alabama does. I know they don't. You know, I know they have 2 losses, but I don't know. It'd be interesting to see.
Going back to the Ohio State-Michigan game, this is a game I circled on the calendar. I was playing Call of Duty until 11 o'clock. I said, I got to turn on this game. And I was hoping it'd be a blowout in the beginning, and so I could turn back on Call of Duty. But at half, Michigan was only down by 3. I said, okay, this is a good game. McCarthy, because you told me all year, Michigan runs the football. You run the football.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, I go, they have 10 rushing yards. What in the world is going on? McCarthy's looking out here looking like a beast. And they just took it
12 of 24 though.
They just he made the plays when they needed to make them.
He threw the 12 he made count.
Yeah.
And the run that he threw in there that to take the lead where he wasn't going to be stopped. I like that. I love that. And he played well enough that the next day Cade McNamara put himself into the transfer portal and he's going to go play football somewhere else. So that's going to be Michigan's quarterback for the foreseeable future. It's J.J. McCarthy. So you better hitch your wagon to him because that's who's going to be there. Listen, this is impressive. Harbaugh going out of the pandemic year, they didn't play Ohio State. They laid out of the game because they had guys that were sick, and they didn't play the game. And they went 4-6 or 2-6 or I don't know what the pandemic year. They only played a few games. And man, if the alumni had enough money to buy him out at that point in time, they would have. And they didn't. And the next 2 seasons, he's played really well. But they showed up last year and played Georgia and looked like they had no business being on a football field. By halftime, that game was over. And I hope to God that they learn from that. And if they ring, I hope the committee learned from it because Michigan should not have had to play Georgia last year. They beat Ohio State. They should have been higher in the rankings, and they put them in 4 and have to play the 1 seed Georgia Bulldogs. And because they didn't want the Alabama Georgia, all that was they didn't want Alabama and Georgia to rematch. They wanted a different game. They wanted Alabama and Georgia to meet later on in the deal. And so I hope Michigan doesn't have to do that this year. I hope they're number 2. I hope they stay number 2. And them and Georgia, if they're going to play, they're going to play in the championship. Because if they want to avoid this and put Michigan, to have to play Georgia and set this up again, I'm going to be very disappointed. No reason that Michigan should not be 2.
And Michigan should be 2. I think TC moved up to 3. In my opinion, they just blew the doors off Iowa State.
USC or Ohio State is 4, and that's the end of it.
Yep.
And the thing of it is Ohio State again doesn't play football anymore. So how are they going to move up? I mean, unless USC loses the title game. But we'll see.
Should be interesting. LSU had a chance to put their name in there. But that loss, and they already had 3 losses.
Yeah, Chip Kelly, and they're going to have another one when Georgia beats them. So
yeah, Georgia.
Now, where I'm telling you, this thing is going to get really screwed up is if LSU beats Georgia.
Oh yeah.
LSU goes to the SEC championship game and beats Georgia. This thing is going to get all screwed up.
All screwed up.
Because Michigan will be 1. How far does Georgia drop? Do they drop all the way out? Do they only drop to 4? Do they drop to 3? So hopefully Georgia takes care of business in the SEC championship game.
I feel bad for Tennessee, man. Tennessee was on pace to be up here in this conversation.
Yes.
Lost their quarterback.
Yes.
They're number 10 seed right now, but that's not going to get it done. They'll get a bowl game, but I feel bad for them. And
but he's a young kid. He'll be back. He'll play next year and deal.
Oregon State upset at Oregon 21-9 or 38-34.
That game
Oregon
was
State
nuts.
Was
Oregon was up a ton.
They got 21 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Ooh. Just terrible turnovers and everything like that.
They were up by 21 points.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, just some bad play calling, and you should never give up that many. Should never give up 14 in the fourth quarter, i.e. Dallas. But hey, whatever.
Spencer Rattler gets the job done, and then South Carolina beats Clemson by 1 point. So that's your update here for the NCAA. And before we move on from football, I got one more headline that we got to talk about before we talk a little bit about the World Cup. But just when you think the Washington Commanders football team can't screw up anything else, they screw up the Sean Taylor Memorial. Wow. What an absolute disgrace. They said we got a statue coming, and it's going to be Sean Taylor, and we're going to unveil this statue. And I'm pretty sure you've seen the pictures already. It looks like a mannequin that they put up at the store.
Champ store at the Parks Mall. It's not even a mannequin. There's nothing inside.
Just some wires.
Jersey. It's the jersey, it's the helmet, and they put some soccer cleats on. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolute
It's
disgrace.
not a head, it's not a face, there's no arms, there's no legs. It's just
metal wiring of a body.
Yeah.
And Sean Taylor's jersey on him.
That's it.
Not even a game worn jersey. It's just Sean Taylor's jersey
that they bought from the same champ store that they got the mannequin at.
Yeah.
And bought the soccer cleats and the mannequin. They're like, just give me the whole outfit. I'll just take all of it. And they moved the mannequin from the champ store and put it in their facility and was like, let's do that. Got it.
Perfect.
It's like they forgot they were unveiling it. And then Saturday afternoon, somebody's like, hey, where's the Sean Taylor statue? I'll be right back. And they ran to the mall and they threw it in the back of their truck and they brought it in. They're like, got it. And they left a cover over it. They were like, ha ha ha, I got a surprise for you, boss.
Just how do you every situation they just screw it up more, like so bad that you're like, who thought this was okay? Yeah. And if you go watch the video of the unveiling, they unveil it and fans are like, yeah. What the
And they brought his family, and his family's like, what? That's not Sean. Like,
oh my gosh, dude!
All right,
you guys got to go watch the video because I was dying laughing because I was like, this is.
And I'm telling you, the owner's like, what? Damn it, Bobby. Yeah.
Oh, you said this was gonna go over well. Yeah. Damn it! I needed this win.
Bro, do you see how much pressure I'm under? And you, where did you go yesterday? I went down to the mall. I forgot about it, boss.
Horrible.
Yeah. Oh man.
I mean,
stop. Just stop. I mean, did you see the whole thing? Like on social media, they put the Pat Tillman statue up, and they put the thing next to it. They're like, that's the difference between statues.
Oh.
Like, bro, I went down to Baylor, and RG3 has got a better statue outside of Baylor. Like, the Philadelphia Eagles built one of play calling, of a play that was in the Super Bowl, and they put a wire deal up. Oh, it was horrible.
What an absolute disgrace.
Like, that's that deal that's going to just turn on ESPN Sunday and be like, come on, bro. Like, that's what that whole segment's going to be about, because that was just a travesty.
You remember that statue they did of Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yeah. I mean, it didn't look nothing like him, but at least it was. But it was like stone. At least it was like
that
a statue.
Looks better than what they did here. Yes. Absolute disgrace.
It's not a statue. This is not a statue. Statues are stone. This is Airbender 3000. I don't even know what it is. It's not a statue.
Oh.
statue. Some dude has to come out and go ting 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 ting. Like nothing pink, nothing. There was no
some aerodynamic mannequin is what they got.
Some dude pulled that out of the back of his truck the other day and threw it in there and bolted it down. I'm
telling you.
I don't even know if it's bolted down.
I'm telling you. They
probably took it back to the mall as soon as they were done. They were like, all right, put it up. Back
this didn't go so well. The real one's on order, guys. Hopefully they make it right. But
they have no choice now. The killing they took.
You guys got to go watch the video.
Almost as good as, hey, we got this glass staircase and we have all the secretaries walking up it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about the same great decision. Yeah.
When I see the pictures, like, that's just absolutely stupid. And then you watch the video, I was dying laughing. It was like, this is such a joke. It's unbelievable. But all right, we're gonna talk a little soccer here, and yes, that's right. I said soccer. We got the World Cup going on, and this is the only time I actually watch soccer. USA does advance today. They did beat Iran, and they won 1-0. Other than that, I don't know who we play next. We did move on. It was win or go home. What I've heard from a lot of people talking about soccer is that this is the youngest U.S. team we have in the World Cup history. And it's showing a little bit right now, right? This team has played good defense. We last match we tied against England 0-0. We're playing good defense. It's just kind of getting the score. And they really say in the next World Cup in 4 years, this team is going to be really good. They're going to be these guys are going to be a lot more veteran, whatever you want to call it. They're going to have more, knowledge of the game and stuff. But this is the youngest USA team, so I don't expect us to go and win it all. You got teams like Portugal and Brazil. Brazil's really good. It's another team I kind of watch. My brother-in-law started a mission in Brazil, and he was actually over there when the World Cup was going on over in Brazil. He said it was one of the coolest things. But I don't know who we play next. But
the Netherlands.
The Netherlands. And when is
Saturday
that?
At 9 o'clock in the morning.
Saturday at 9 a.m. You want to get up early and watch it. We don't know much about soccer on here. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that we do. England won today 3-0. Netherlands won today 2. They beat Qatar 2-0. So, do you guys? Craig, do you watch hockey at all? Is this the only time you watch any soccer?
Yeah, no, I don't. I watch the World Cup just because it's Team USA type deal. But this team is not. I think if they beat the Netherlands, it'll be a surprise. I don't. They played England tough the other day, though. They played, Ghana tough. That's a game they should have won. They had that one goal to the last minute, and then take a terrible penalty in the last, in stoppage time, and let them tie the game and force themselves into a win or draw here. But this thing's been crazy. This World Cup has been crazy. But defensively, they've only let up 2 goals, one goal the whole.
They're in these games, and
they didn't let up any against England. They didn't let up any against Iran today. So defensively they're on a roll. We'll see. I still think the Englands and the Netherlands and the Portugals and all of them are way better than the USA is, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Sometimes you get lucky and the ball bounces your way. I told you guys Thanksgiving, my brother-in-law David, he plays soccer, so he likes to watch. We watched more soccer than we did actually NFL football that day, but. And I found myself really kind of enjoying it. The Portugal game was pretty entertaining at the end of it. I know a lot of people don't like soccer because they say it's boring. But I watch it right now, but when I can, and it's I wouldn't say it's the most entertaining sport, but I can get why people like it, and it's the most entertaining, most popular sport in the world. So give it another shot, guys, if you want. If not, then continue watching what you watch. Dallas Stars have looked good.
Yeah,
We've
they
been
look
playing really
well. They
good.
looked better last night. They did not look good in Colorado. I chalk that up to having played a back-to-back the night before, going into overtime, and then having to get on a plane and fly to Colorado and play the next night. They looked horrific in Colorado. They turned the puck over. They were down 23 seconds into the game. They committed a penalty. 8 seconds later, McKinnon is roofing one over the deal. They played much better last night. But I'm telling you right now, I had made some picks for MVP, and I kind of gave Robertson an outside shot when I threw some names out there, but I didn't think. I thought maybe a year or two before he put his name in that discussion. I was wrong. Jason Robertson is going to be in the MVP discussion this year. He has got 19 goals. He leads the NHL in goals. He leads the NHL in points. He's got 19 goals and 16 assists. The kid took one last night and on a breakaway just sniped one he's a left-handed shot, and from the right side of the rink took one and went right up over Binnington's left shoulder and tucked it in the top left corner of the goal. And I mean, Jordan Binnington's a solid goalie. He's one of the best goalies in the league. And he made Binnington look I mean, he threw his hands up in the air like, how in the world did this kid do this? And and Wyatt Johnston scored last night on a laser from Deal that hopefully gets him going. Ever since he got his contract to stay in the deal, that's the 19-year-old rookie. Ever since he got his contract to stay up with the big team, he's kind of been dormant. And so hopefully last night got him going. But the goaltending's been a little suspect, and the defense has been suspect up until last night. Last night, both were much better. Scott Wedgwood made a save that will be on ESPN. He glove saved one, and then it went off his glove, and then he dove back and stick saved it from the other side. And they're playing really good hockey, but they've got to start playing again. They've got to start playing some defense in front of these goalies. They're letting up too many easy. Every time you look in Colorado, 3-on-2, 2-on-1, 3-on-2, 2-on-1, 4-on-3. It was an odd man rush, and Colorado was just coming down the ice, and the goalie's like, oh, where's it coming from? You can't do that. You got to poke check. You got to play some defense in front of your guys, and you can't let them be just taking rocket shots at your goalie all night, because eventually he's going to miss one. On a contract side, they extended Rupe Hentz for 8 years for $67.6 million, a little over almost 8.5 a year on the average, 8.45 a year for the next 8 years. So that locks him up. Him and Jason Robertson are on the same line, and they are both tearing it up. Robertson's got 19 goals and 15 assists, and Hentz has got like 8 goals and 15 assists. So that's the toughest line in hockey right now. And I'll put that line against anybody right now. So it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, we're about a quarter of the way through the season. It'll be interesting to see if we can keep this pace. They are the 1 seed in the Central, and the next 4 games are pretty winnable. If you go 3-1, you take it. They play Anaheim on Thursday, I think, and so that'll be the next game is Thursday night. So we'll see.
One thing too, forgot to talk about, and it's basketball related. The Dallas Mavericks signed Kemba Walker. What are we doing? Is this the help? And I got a buddy, I got to call him out on here, and he's been on the show before. His name is Ryan Sims. And I'm like, can you believe we signed Kemba Walker? This guy, his career was over like 3 years ago. And he's like, oh, I think it's great. He's going to be a third ball handler, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, you're such a homer. This is such a bad signing.
Well, ball handling wise, you went into the season with 1 point guard. His
Yeah.
name is Luka Doncic. That's what you did. We talked about this. They weren't going to. There's no way that they're going to go into the season with one point guard, and that's exactly what they did. And so they've put themselves behind the eight ball. But the bottom line is, the other day they're playing a basketball game, and Luka passes the ball to Maxi Kleba. Kleba has no one around him. No one. He could take 2 dribbles and dunk it. He could shoot it from where he was at the free throw line. He could have done anything but what he did. And he takes the ball and passes it, and the next guy goes, I don't want it, and hands it to the guy, literally to the defender right in front of him, and goes, huh? And they turn the ball over. The combinations that Kidd is using, you have a guy in Wood that needs to play 36 minutes a night. And on the games that you've won, look at how much Christian Wood's played. These rotations he's using, the guys that he's putting on the floor, the things that he's putting together, it's very hard for me to say because I love Hardaway because he played for Michigan.
He's terrible.
Terrible.
And they paid this
guy.
Guy.
And he's like little mini LeBron James out there. You throw him the ball, he's like a black hole. It's coming in, and the only way it's coming out is if I'm throwing it at the rim. Well, Tim, I love you to death, but you're shooting 20%.
Terrible.
I could close my eyes and shoot 19%. What are we doing? Like, the top guy in your team, Luka's 33% from 3. Kemba Walker's 40%. He's right there. He's going to give you a 7% from behind the arc. But no, Kemba Walker's days are behind him.
Of 11 points last year.
Kemba Walker's days are behind him. He's not an all-star anymore. He's injured a lot. Father Time has knocked on the door, and Kemba answered, and they're sitting there having tea together. The bottom line is, I hope you got him for pennies on the dollar because that's all he's worth.
And they were talking about Jason Kidd is running out his welcome, not using Christian Wood the way he should be used.
Yeah.
You're frozen on your screen, but I can still hear you, so that's okay. They're saying that Jason Kidd from Milwaukee is coming back slowly, and that's not good for us because that was a total bombshell there. And the Mavericks could not. I just don't understand how the Mavericks thought they were going to get back to the Western. I think Western Conference Finals last year was kind of a fluke. Got a little lucky. I just don't see us getting there this year. I don't see us. I mean, we probably make the playoffs, but this team is not looking good. And Jason Kidd not using our second best scorer on as much as he should is really frustrating. So the Dallas Mavericks, and this is why me switching over and becoming a Mavs fan kind of I was hesitant a little bit because I don't like Mark Cuban. I don't think he knows how to run a basketball team. He doesn't give help to his star players. He never gave Dirk Nowitzki help. And when the team he gave him help that actually won because they went on a run at the right time, he knew it wasn't going to win again, so he's broke them up. They got a little bit lucky. And Mark Cuban does not get this guy any help. I was hoping that the new guy, Nico Harrison, was going to come in and get some guys here. But the Mavericks are bad off on money-wise. And so they're kind of in a tough position. But I'm just not liking what they're doing right now. And Mavericks fans cannot be happy with the way they're playing. But I don't know if Craig's going to be back on. Craig just bounced off. I think he froze. It's probably computer shut down. There he is.
AT&T at its finest.
Yeah. Hey, I have AT&T and it's good, but you live out in the middle of nowhere.
Apparently, I guess.
All right, Craig. Well, I'm just going to wrap up the show here.
There you go.
You got on right in time. We will see you guys Friday. We have an episode on here Friday. We'll give you the picks for this coming week. We'll give you the schedule for the NCAA and a little bit more there. Any headlines that break between here and there, and of course, what's in our locker as well at the end of the segment on Friday. And maybe Jeff will be on. I don't know. I need to talk to him and see when he's going to jump back on because we haven't seen him in a long time. I can maybe console him and talk about how bad his Broncos suck. But
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's gonna be the episode today. We 53 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. We were at 16. I was like, oh man, we're gonna short this out. But all right, guys. God bless and remember,
keep it outspoken.